Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So Halloween is fast approaching and I'm so flippin' excited beyond belief. Even more so this year since it's been a bit of a downer and just overall kind of sad with quarantine. So I really can't wait to just dress up and celebrate. However, I'll still be playing it safe as I'll be celebrating Halloween this year at home with my family. But we will be dressing up, eating candy, and watching spooky movies. But aside from all that, this year I've really amped up my Halloween decor. I went to homedepot.com and just started searching for all things cheap and Halloweeny, and I knew I really wanted to do inflatables because I really love those types of items for setting up in the front lawn. At the same time, I don't know if y'all know the price of those dang inflatables, but the ones that are like 6 feet easily go for $200. And well, I can't really justify spending that kind of cash on one item. So I looked for $20 and under kind of inflatables and found these stinking cute ones at 3.5 feet tall of just little monsters. So naturally I bought all the different types available and may have spent $200 in the end, but at least I got multiple inflatables instead of one. Yay! Since receiving them, they're even cuter than the pic, and I've already set them up on my front yard. And do I look like the craziest neighbor on the street? Yes, but am I really? Also yes, so at least I'm consistent there. Really though, I'm weirdly proud of these things and was struck with this idea to draw them up, but I wanted to incorporate them into a video because again, I'm stoked about them and want to share this art idea with the world. So I figured, what if I turned them into cute girls? I'm not gonna lie, I originally thought this idea was kind of dumb, but y'all know I'm all about dumb ideas, so I'm rolling with it. This one here is the first one. It's got a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern head with a skeleton body, and I kept visualizing this cute girl dressed in like black PJs with glowing skeleton bones on it and a pumpkin mask. Although from the looks of it, it could just be a pumpkin hat at this point, because I don't know if the size of the pumpkin that I drew would actually fit over her face, but still looks adorable in my opinion. And I pretty much envisioned her as basically a girl trick-or-treating, and this is her Halloween costume, which kind of works out great because it really keeps true to the original design of the inflatable, which is definitely what I really wanted in the end. I always want to try and go for designs that stay consistent and resemble the original idea while also giving it my own twist. But in the beginning, I did struggle with how I wanted to go about this. I figured at first I would do a certain look where it would be a girl with accents of the monster. So like maybe a teen girl with orange hair and a black schoolgirl uniform that had maybe a skull patch that she put on her shirt or skirt. But I feel like that's the usual route that most artists go when changing things into girls. And there was just a lot of going back and forth on this idea. When I looked at the inflatable, I just kept thinking I really wanted to keep the pumpkin face in, and it did weirdly cross my mind to recreate the character as is in just my style, but that seemed a little too straightforward and kind of boring. Like, it didn't really seem as if there would be a whole ton of creativity if I went in that direction. So then I just jumped to this idea of this girl with a pumpkin on her head, but I didn't feel like that would translate well because I wanted to actually draw a girl showing her face. So then I figured, what if she were pushing the pumpkin head up off her face? That way I can show the pumpkin and her face at the same time. And then as I was sketching in the beginning, the rest finally just sort of came together after that. And the only thing that kind of confuses me is I'm not entirely too sure what sort of monster this is. And what I mean by that is the design of the pumpkin head on top of a skeleton body seems to be a pretty popular idea for a monster, but there's no official name for it. The closest idea I can think of is it may be a spin-off idea of the Headless Horseman. And for those who don't know, the Headless Horseman is a mythical figure who has appeared in folklore around the world since the Middle Ages. He is traditionally depicted as a man upon horseback who is missing his head, and depending on the legend, the horseman is either carrying his head or is completely headless and in search of it. So where does the pumpkin come in? Well, apparently the Headless Horseman costume was made back in the day. It was paired with a jack-o'-lantern head, and that sort of look took on a life of its own, and the jack-o'-lantern, while not exactly accurate to the depiction of the monster of lore, became an official look for the Headless Horseman. At the same time, the skeleton doesn't quite make sense, as it's definitely not related to the Headless Horseman, as apparently he was often wearing either knight armor or in other depictions he wore an early American soldier's uniform. So in the end, it's basically just a mashup of two distinct ideas of Halloween, and while there's no official name for this monster, I still consider it as one due to its popularity. My favorite part of this is her pose. It's super carefree and kind of childish, which was definitely what I wanted to capture in this character. She's bright-eyed with an open-mouthed smile and is just wanting to have fun with collecting candy for the night. Also, I don't think it needs to be said, but just in case, the bones on her shirt and pants are not at all anatomically correct. Did I think about doing so? I did. But then I figured that simplifying it would make it kind of cutesy and not weirdly serious, because the overall theme is meant to be cutesy in my mind. So there's definitely odd-shaped bones, a lot of missing bones, and I meant to put the hip bones on her shirt, but totally somehow forgot about them. And then I figured maybe it was for the best, because honestly, I think it would have looked a bit smushed on her top. Is that a word? Smushed? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, and I went with yellow eyes, and I'm kind of laughing because lately, if you've seen my art, yellow eyes has kind of been my go-to. I'm not sure why, but often it's been the color I've been choosing the most for whatever reason. But for this piece, I figured it would work for the overall color scheme, and I wanted her eyes to kind of look glowy, which I feel like I can always achieve that with yellow eyes. And maybe a bit of a creepy factor too, but I'm not sure if I achieved that specifically. I originally also planned for her hair to be brown, but when I finished coloring it in, it seemed really dull and just really boring. So I changed the hue to a reddish brown in the end, and it just pops so much more and feels so much more warmer as well. there is my pumpkin skeleton girl. I'm thinking about naming her Skella, kind of like Stella, but not. But if you guys have any name suggestions, feel free to drop one below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye!